All right.
Chicka Powell.
Welcome to the S to the C to the H to the E to the U to the N to the E to the M to the A to the N to the S to the H to the O to the W. What's up, buddy? How are you doing?
I'm good.
You're good.
Yeah.
Well, way to give me something to work with.
No,
I'm doing wonderful, Marquise, and I'm happy to hear that you're doing good. And welcome back to the facility that facilitates all of your fashion needs, your entertainment needs, all that shit, anal beads. Let's get right into it, I saw some very sad shit on the way here today, and I told you I was going to tell you about it.
Of course.
So that I could tell these people about it.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't cry. No. But it was just, it made me feel kind of strange. I was driving here. I was like on the highway, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, so I'm in the far right lane, about to get off on this exit. And all of a sudden I see this white dog running towards me, but in the, off the berm, when you stop your car if something's going on. Not like in a lane, like beside the road.
Yeah.
And it was running the opposite way I was going, and it had a leash dragging behind it and like a collar and everything. So I was like, oh my God, that's probably somebody's dog that just ran away from them while they were taking it for a walk.
Yeah.
And now he's fucking running on the highway with probably their owners.
Going the opposite way you said?
Yeah, he was like running down the highway. I was getting off in the exit, and he so I looked him like in his eyes or whatever. I'm going like this, driving down the road.
Yeah.
And the dog's coming towards me, but on the side of the road. But yeah, anyway, the dog had ran away from its owner, and it's probably lost now. And honestly, I don't really feel confident that it's still alive because it was running on the highway. And when I saw it, it wasn't in any of the lanes, but who knows how long until it just bolted across the road.
Or if it did.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it didn't. Hopefully, it just chilled there, but dogs and roads don't mix well.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say some crazy shit.
I mean, it's not crazy, but then once you think about, how easily that could become something crazy.
Oh, yeah, of course.
That dog could have gotten murked very quickly. And I'm just...
That's what I thought you were going to say. You just watched it happen.
Dude, that would
suck.
suck.
Speaking of that, you remember the time we watched...
Yeah, hold on. Let me... put a bow tie on this story. I was like, oh, fuck, that's sad. I hope it's okay. And nobody hits it. And I'm, driving off the exit, and I'm starting to, look around for anybody that could be, looking for their dog.
Yeah.
So I could be like, dude, you got to run down there. It's on the highway. But
hey, bro, your dog is running.
Yeah, I just was concerned that it would get hit. And I even for a second was thinking about calling the police, but I don't know, they probably wouldn't give a shit. It was in Columbus, so they probably have much bigger things to worry about.
That too. That dog would probably be long gone from that spot by the time the police come and do anything about it.
Plus, what are they gonna do? Shut down the highway? It's not looking good for
stray dog.
Yeah, but yeah, no. The time you were talking about that was terrible and crazy. Me and Marquise were smoking back when we were 14, 15.
Yeah.
And we were driving around in the middle of the night with our buddy Ralph.
Yeah.
And I was blitzed. That was one of the... I think I've brought it up on the show before. This was the night that I was so high, and we had stopped at the gas station right before this. And I looked in the mirror, and my eyes were cherry red. So red. There would be... If I saw, my parents or a police officer... They would know just from looking at me immediately that I was high. And so I was just like, whoa, dude.
And that's back in the time where we'd smoke and honestly get so fried off our minds because we were just not, getting into it.
Yeah, it was the fun high times. We would watch, Off the Air and just be destroyed mentally.
Oh, and I think about on that, and I'm like, dude, we'd smoke a blunt, and we'd be cool for giggling our asses off, having the time of our lives. And
that was the biggest difference, is that we would just be laughing so hard, like at everything.
Every time too.
And I mean, I still enjoy smoking here and there now, but it's like I've talked about it. Like I get super paranoid and anxious now, and I would get anxious here and there when I smoked before, but it wasn't like this. It was just like, just not wanting to get caught by the cops. It was like a different kind of thing. But yeah, back to the story. We were super high in the back seat. Well, the designated driver was driving, and we were in this neighborhood, and we stopped at like this 4-way intersection, and we looked to the right, and there's a cat crossing the street. Like
it's pouring down rain.
Yeah, it's pouring down rain. This orange cat's crossing the street, and we're like, oh look, it's a cat. And right as we start to notice that there's a cat right there, this fucking Escalade or some car just runs over it directly
into it.
Like we saw the whole thing. Like it literally got crunched. The tire went right down the middle of it, and we just witnessed.
And we were fried as fuck. Just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like,
I was like, dude, no.
Yeah, like
no, and like it was so bad that like the person ran it over. We saw we saw it get hit very clearly, and then on top of that, after the car drove past it, like we saw the cat like shaking in the street. It's making me sad just thinking about it.
Yeah, we should probably stop there.
No, it was bad. That was probably
because I can get into some stories about stuff like, oh, dude, no.
I mean, you could.
Yeah.
Go ahead and tell one.
Okay, so one time, I didn't watch it get hit, but I was driving, right, and I have this little roundabout, and there's like 4 different streets you can get on, but I went on to one of them, and it like loops. Like this one is the only one that like curves around and stuff, so you kind of can't see what you're getting into around the corner. As the other ones, you can
kind of had like a blind spot.
Yeah, you can see all the way down. And dude, I was going around, and I guess this squirrel just got hit or something, dude. Because I didn't see it, but it was just like it just had to happen. I go around and I see it, and it like got hit in the back. It's literally just crawling, like using its front 2 arms trying to get off.
And I've always loved squirrels. Like,
but that's some sad. Like that made me sad. I was like, dude, like I wish.
Do you think you'd be more sad seeing a dog get ran over or seeing like a family of squirrels get ran over?
I feel like it's equal. I mean, I don't know. Family of squirrels. That's a whole family. Like,
yeah,
that's horrible. Like,
you could also make the argument that like seeing a family of squirrels get ran over would be better because there's not going to be a parents mourning the loss of their squirrel kin. But yeah, no, it's all terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, dude.
And that's just
the worst roadkill. I've seen 2 really bad roadkills. One of them was when I was like really young on like a field trip, and I looked out the bus window and I saw this deer that was like missing its front 2 legs, and its like whole chest had been ripped open, so you could like see its rib cage and you could see like all of its like intestines. It was really bad. And then recently, driving back from West Virginia, I saw like tiny bits and pieces of a deer, but like no body. But the blood splatter was like across all 4 lanes of this highway. Yeah. Like it was just everywhere. I'm like positive it got ran over by a semi truck.
I was about to say like something like that.
But dude, is it semi truck or semi truck?
I say semi.
Yeah, I used to say semi truck, and I went saying that for a long time, and then one day I found out that it was semi, and all my friends were like clowning on me because I was saying semi.
I remember
semi boner or something.
Of stuff like that. I remember like being a little kid and oh my gosh,
unprofessional hound. No, it's happened to me many times.
I remember being a kid and freaking the word bless you. People would say bless you, right? Like after you sneeze. I used to think it was blesh, like bless you for some reason.
Blesh.
And then I caught on,
bless yourself. Maybe you heard somebody like with a cold saying it or something like.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
But dude, and speaking of terrible things happening with driving and all that, like, dude, I saw the dumbest thing ever, just ever. I saw the worst driving maneuver like I think I've ever seen. I just almost smoked this guy. Like I almost T-boned him so fucking hard. So I was driving down like Polaris Parkway, and I was coming like towards Maxtown
Okay.
and passing the Steak and Shake. So there's like this bridge that you go over with like exits on each side. So I'm like driving over this bridge, and this guy is coming off of this exit of the highway, and he blows past the red light, and then like almost doesn't even care, and then like stops in the middle of the road. Like I was in the left lane coming towards him, and he was like right in front of me. So he went past the red light, past the first lane, and stopped in the middle of the left lane, like sideways. So I would have smashed into the side of his car like a T-bone.
Yeah.
And I would it would have been so bad for him. But like the fact that he didn't even try and correct it, he just stopped and stayed there, by the way. Like I had to swerve around him, and I wanted to honk at him so bad. I just wanted to scream at him because I was like not in the best mood anyway. And he just like would have gotten like destroyed. And I just got this vibe that he didn't care, or he was fucked up or something. And he was just stopped there. And I had to swerve around him, and I look back, and he's like stays there.
What the fuck?
Like he was literally just sitting right there. I was like, bro, what the fuck
Dude,
is wrong with you?
tripping.
Yeah, dude, it was ridiculous.
I had a thing like that happen to me recently, but all right, so I was going through an underpass, right, and freaking this girl, there's 3 lanes. One is to get on the highway, and then 2 are just keep going, right, and she decides she wants to get on the highway, and just starts cutting over the car in front of me, and they slam on their brakes, and I was already going like 50, like. Not on their ass, but I was kind of close, and I had to slam on my brakes and swerve both cars, and she just stops and just stares, and we're like me and the other car's like trip, and she gets all the way over and just goes. The other car starts going right, and I get all the way over to the right, and she like stops because she like sped by. I kind of went slow, and then I like stopped beside her. I'm like, "You good?" You know, like holy shit.
Yeah.
You know, that shit was crazy, and she's like, "Yeah." And she
You
went on.
good, or are you just stupid? Like,
No, the girl that swerved over in front of us, she went on the highway and just kept going. I stopped by the girl that almost got hit.
dude, I was there was one time where I was driving down 23, going home, and this car. So the way 23 is like you have your like 2 or 3 lanes on the right side, and then there's like a barrier in between the incoming lanes and the like.
Oh yeah.
You know, like they're separated by like
Yeah, it's a little concrete.
a concrete barrier.
It looks like a sidewalk, but it's not. Are you talking about the part that
I'm talking about there's this one section that's like it's like a mile strip of it where it's like an actual like wall.
Oh, it's okay. It's a wall.
So you can't get over it. Like even if you want to fuck your car up, you couldn't go over it. It's too tall. So I'm driving, and it's like late at night, probably like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And since like I saw the headlights of a car, and it looked like it was like in the right side, just like, you know, it didn't look like it was in my lane. It looked like it was on the other side of the road or whatever.
Yeah, like
and then as I get closer, it's in my lane, driving directly towards me. So in oncoming traffic,
what the
just
fuck?
on the wrong side, speeding,
What the
driving
fuck?
towards me like full speed, and I'm like, dude, what? And so I like had to obviously get into the other lane, but like he just like keeps going. He like just blows down the wrong side of the road, and it's like it's one thing.
Bro, what
It's pretty fucked up already
what?
that he's in the oncoming traffic lane, and he's just like coming towards me, almost hits me. But then once you think about it, like he has to go like a mile or two until he can get into the right side. So he's kind of fucked. Like, he's going to either have to play Frogger and be dodging these cars, or like, I don't know, but it seemed like he didn't even know because he was just going regular speed.
It was like 1 a.m.
Yeah, it was late, and he got pulled over because that 23 is littered with state troopers and cops, and it's sketchy.
Yeah.
But he was just going full speed towards me, almost hits me, keeps going, and like I said, like, it's gonna be a while until he can get back into the right lane.
Yeah.
So he's like, it was pretty wild.
That is wild.
I almost didn't notice because it just looked like he was in his lanes, but it was just right coming towards me. It's like those videos you see of like when they play a prank on their boyfriend or girlfriend that's asleep and like wake them up as there's like when they have the semi trucks that are like hitched up and it looks like they're coming towards you, but it's just so it was pretty wild.
Like what I was talking about, that sidewalk instead of like with the wall you were talking about.
Yeah.
So like, you know how you can get on the highway so if you're coming up towards Worthington or what is that? Is that Columbus still, or is that?
Well, if you're going away from my house, you'd be going towards like Westerville, and then you hit Worthington after Westerville.
So like before that bridge, you can like turn right onto the highway and head towards like
the bridge that says Olentangy, or the bridge.
All right, cancel that. So all right, so you're coming back, this like towards this way, right?
Yeah.
So your dad's right, but fuck, I don't know how to explain it now.
What happened?
All right, 23. So you're coming back. Yeah, all right.
You know, try not to maybe we can get around explaining exactly where it is, but just like explain what the incident was.
All right, so like I was just saying, like I've seen so many cars try to fucking they were gonna get on the highway but didn't want to or whatever, like figured out.
I know what you're talking about. You're talking about when you go. You're there. So when you're passing this, I know exactly what you're talking about. When you're on that bridge, and then there's those 3 exits that you can take. There's one that's like the furthest right lane, and you can go onto the highway, and then you go one past that, it's another, and then way past that across the bridge is like a loop-de.
Dude, I had such a big brain fart trying to explain that. But so like that little sidewalk right there, right? Like it kind of cuts it off, but you can still go over it if you really wanted to.
They made it worse.
Oh, it's horrible. It's like
and it's really deceiving. You can get I used to know people that would get stuck going on the exit when they thought they were on the right lane because it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
And then once you're in there, you're stuck.
Yeah, because they keep switching that shit all the time. So Maps isn't fully updated with everything. So you think you're going in the right place and you're not. And then you're like, oh, shit. And they fucking run that shit over and their car's like, boop, boop, boop.
Yeah. You used to be able to get over that, but now it's like it'll total your car if you try and do that. Because it's like a lifted sidewalk. I know exactly what you're talking about now. But
dude, that was so hard for me.
No, you're good. I understand.
I just feel stupid for that.
No, I get it. I caught on to it. But no, so there was one thing I was telling you I wanted to talk about pretty quick into the show is.
Yeah, you said you were gonna get heated right away.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I feel like I'm doing pretty decent.
Yeah,
so I was on the way here listening to this Eminem podcast where his manager Paul has all these people on that have something to do with Eminem's career. So like, and some of the beginning episodes he had like Royce the 5'9", which is his friend that does Bad Meets Evil with him, Eminem's friend. And they'll have like Skylar Grey and Steve Berman, like just all these people that can put insight into Eminem's career and give like highlights and backstory. And this whole podcast is like, it's only like 10 episodes long, and it's for promotion of his greatest hits album, Curtain Call 2. And so I've been listening to those as they drop. And it's fun to... Well, okay, so the last 2 episodes are with Eminem, and so I'm like an Eminem junkie, so I'll listen to anything he does, and I'll listen to an episode, and he'll start talking about like backstory behind the song, or like backstory behind getting certain features or parts in his career, and it just gets me in the mood to like listen to whatever song he is talking about, and so I've been going down all these songs that he brings up, and it's fun to listen to him right after he's talking about like, oh, this is a important detail about this, or that's what this song is about. And so I was doing that, and he started talking about his features with Joyner Lucas and how he started working with Joyner Lucas and Kamikaze. And he was telling me like he was talking about how they like met to work for the first time, and he was talking about this song that he first heard from Joyner Lucas, which was the Ross. What's it called? Ross. It's like
It's Italian last name.
yeah, it's like Ross Giuseppe or Ross Giappani or some shit like that. But it's a song that Joyner Lucas made, which is about two people. It's about this like kid that goes to school for like his first day of high school, and the two different perspectives of like the kid going to school and then the kid that he ends up meeting. And it's like a super crazy song, and it's like a storytelling song. So I would urge you guys to go and listen to it because it's really good, and I don't want to spoil it. So I would say go listen to this song. It's Ross, some last name, by Joyner Lucas. If you type in Ross, you'll find it. Go listen to it and then come back to the podcast because I'm about to talk about it. But go do that, and then I'm going to assume that you just did that. So, spoiler alert. So, yeah, in that song, this Joyner Lucas is talking about this white kid that starts school on his first day, and it raps from his perspective for the first verse, and it talks about how he meets this kid, like this other kid, and his school is like in the hood from the sounds of it, and this kid that he meets starts like, establishing a friendship with him, and they get tight, and it like talks about the stuff they would do when they first like met up and how they would hang out, and just like what the white kid was thinking as all this was going down. And what ends up happening is he like gets this car, and he picks up his friend. He picks up his friend that's like more connected to like the hood aspect of stuff. Like he's kind of in gangs and does shit like that, but they don't really talk about that in the first verse. But anyway, he picks his friend up in his new car, and his friend's like, oh yeah, like, can we go here? And he's like, oh fuck, like he realizes that where he wants to go is like in the middle of the hood.
And he didn't have tags or anything.
Yeah, it's like an unregistered car.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I mean, it's really sketchy to be going to the hood. I'm not really used to shit like that, but I mean, fuck it, I guess so. And so they drive to this shitty, like abandoned type neighborhood. And then what happens is he tells them to like park the car, and then he fucking steals the car from him and murders him. And this whole time, like, the song is just so good at painting a picture and evoking emotion and making you like it sends like chills up your back as the story progresses. And so it talks about he meets this kid, they become friends, and then he gets this unregistered car, they go on this ride, and then at the end of the first verse he steals the car and kills him. And it's like really dark and fucked up. And then the second verse, it switches over to the friend the white kid met and his perspective, and how he wanted to get into a gang and he wanted to be established. And they said, okay, there's one thing you have to do before we let you become a part of this. You have to kill an innocent person. And so he's like, okay, fuck it. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to be like all my role models. And so it shows like everything that it talked about in the first verse, but from his perspective, and how why he steals the car and what he was thinking as he does this, and like why he kills him, like all that stuff. And so I'm listening to this song, and it's just like crazy. I love storytelling songs like that. I love stuff that makes you like feel something, and it's just like deep. And not to mention, it's a fucking good song. Like, Joyner Lucas is like super lyrical, and he paints a picture really well. And so I'm just like, damn, this is like such a great song. And it just really got me thinking. And then I like click back to the Eminem podcast, and he's like, yeah, that's how that's how I heard about Joyner Lucas for the first time. And then we started recording these songs like Lucky You, and then he starts talking about What If, a song that him and Joyner also recorded in the same time as Lucky You, and that song never got officially released because these fucking leakers will hack into the the service that they use to transfer songs from one artist to another. So it gets leaked, and it's like a raw version of the song, and it doesn't have like the chorus in it. And I mean, you can listen to the podcast. That's just the stuff that was painting the picture for why I looked into the song and started listening to it. And that What If song is it's like I get the impression that when Eminem and Joyner Lucas met up to make that song, Eminem was like, dude, I love that Ross song that you made. I love how it's from the point of it's the two perspectives and how it tells a story. We should do something like that. And so they made this song where like Joyner Lucas is rapping from the perspective of someone who was gay and came out the closet to his best friend who was homophobic. And so Joyner Lucas is like the guy saying like, okay, like I'm gay. And I didn't hear as much of Joyner Lucas's verse because the only versions I could find that were leaked were like really sped up and distorted, and it wasn't as good of quality. But then I found Eminem's verse, and I listened to that, and I could imagine how the song goes. And I mean, Eminem's rapping from the perspective of somebody who's like super homophobic and finds out his best friend has been holding that in, that he's gay, and he like kind of cuts him off. And it gives you an insight into his ignorance of the role he's playing and everything. So then at the end of that song, oh, by the way, listen to that song, because once again, I'm going to be spoiling something. He's like, at the end of the song, you figure out that like after him and his friend had this falling out because he was gay, he goes home and he kills himself. And so Eminem's character is like, oh fuck, like I never meant for that to happen. It's like fucked up, I feel bad, and blah blah blah. And then it's like talking about fast forwarding through Eminem's character's life and how he has these twins, and then he finds out that the boy he had turns out to be gay, and he's like, fuck, like I thought. The whole song Eminem's talking about like it is a choice, you can fight it, blah blah blah, like it's not just automatic, you don't have to be like that, which isn't true. And so he's at the end of the song, he's like, fuck, my son's gay, like I thought it was a choice, like saying like, oh, I'm finally realizing that I was wrong.
Yeah.
And so the reason I talk about all that is, number one, that's why I've always loved music, and I mean especially rap.
Like storytelling.
Well, storytelling, and also just the fact that like music can really just take you and put you on this like journey of like emotions, feeling something, like having an insight into different issues, and just really like take you for a ride. It evokes emotion, and I just have always thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
How music can do that for you, and it can like really make you feel something. And that's really what us as a brand, the Scheuneman brand, like we want to take that energy that music can create and put as much of it as possible into making clothes. So going forward, and I mean, as we've already done, like we're trying to always make collections of clothes that have a meaning, a purpose, a story behind it, and also on top of all that, to evoke emotion with clothes. Because yeah, wearing, like, a super important thing for us is like the strength that you can kind of feel when you are wearing something that you love, and when you get to pick out like an outfit that you enjoy and you feel good in. And that's emotion right there. But we also want to make like clothes in an artistic way to where it feels like it's evoking emotion. When you know about the design and what it's inspired by, that evokes emotion. When you see the design and certain things about it, it can evoke emotion. Like it can bring either excitement or make you think about something a little more, or make you feel like, I don't know, like get deep with it. Like I want to make clothes that mean something. And also I feel super grateful for the fact that like if it hasn't been said and clear already, like with each collection we do, we're going to be making a music video alongside it to not only be able to do what I've always loved with music, which is like take you on a ride, put you on a journey, and evoke emotion through other medias like music, but also it's just like amazing to be able to be in that world of music. And also we want to be able to put like spotlights on people that like don't always get the attention that they deserve, or be able to like help somebody blow up and have a career, because like that road that we all as artists have to take to like get to where we want to be with our careers, it's a long and hard road. So we want to do anything we can to help those people get there quicker and help them have art attached to their name. So like with the music videos, that's what we're doing. Yeah. And trying to think what I was saying that for. Yeah, it makes me super happy that we can do something like that with our clothes, but also that we can have an attachment to that music space, because I mean, we've talked briefly about it. Like me and Marquise and I have always loved music, and like when we were kids, we always dreamt of being able to make music. And it's that kind of creative thinking.
Yeah, just doing something with music is just a bonus to it all, honestly. Yeah. And especially in such an early stage of how everything is coming, like, I mean, the first music video we ever came out with, to me personally, was spectacular for a first time. Like, getting everything put together, because, I mean, it's not really easy to set up everything, make sure everybody's got time to do what we need to happen.
It's far from easy.
Yeah, so it was fun. It was a great time. The vibe was just amazing. It felt like it was just surreal. Like, I could do that every day if I had the chance.
Oh yeah, I mean we want to do that as much as possible, and that whole music video was just really fun to make, and I feel like it came together really well. I love the finished product, and it seems like a lot of people feel the same. And also, like, it just feels meant to be with how, like, everything fell so nicely into place. Like, I think we've talked about this before, but, like, with that music video, we planned for that for weeks, and we had this whole idea of, like, because of the way that song was, we wanted to make like a party atmosphere. We wanted to evoke the emotion of excitement and like having a good time. And we had this idea of like having a party kind of set outside, like almost like a block party kind of vibe. But then as the day came, it was a fucking freezing cold day. The weather was not great for it. And also like people weren't really responding at first. Like when we had this group of people that were down to come, but then when the time came, like we weren't really getting responses. We had people, like 3 people that were saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna come." Some people were responding, but like they didn't have a ride, or they didn't know how they get there, or they had work, and so we were like, "Oh fuck, like what's gonna happen?" But then as it progressed and as we got closer to like film time, people just started showing up.
At least half a house full of people.
I mean, dude, it was you can call the amount of people we had like a party. Like we filled this house up, and it came together really nice. And by the way, like because of the cold weather, like we had to do most of it inside, and we were able to pivot in a nice way to where we pulled it off, and it still came out kind of how we planned it. And I mean I love how it came, and it was crazy because we had to go around many barriers, and we had to,
it just all fell into place, honestly.
Yeah.
Just like,
I mean, with work, but like we worked on it, and then when things got in our way, like an alternate route fell into place, like you're saying. It was just, It was great. And also I wanted to say, like, it's really important to me that we put people who need a spotlight and need a place to be able to like make a music video, who either don't have the means or the crew or the money or they're not as high as they want to be. Like, we want to give those people a voice and a place to put their art and help them make that art. But at the same time, we definitely are super excited to work with people who already have that spotlight and who are big artists that we admire. Like, and in the near future, I guarantee you will be seeing big names attached to Scheuneman brand music videos. Like, we're going to do it no matter what we have to do. So it's just super exciting, all of that is. And I just wanted to not only talk about the songs I just talked about because I love them and they were so cool, and I want to put you guys onto it, but also, like, those songs did what I want our clothes to do and our music videos to do. Like, I want it to tell a story and to evoke emotion, and I think it's going to be really cool once you see what we've been working on, what the projects that are coming very soon, and they're falling in place as we speak, but also what things that we haven't even started on. Like, that's always going to be our goal, is to have purpose, story, emotion, a feeling, and it's super exciting. So it got me thinking. Those songs have me thinking.
Yeah. Like,
but yeah, dude, that Raw song is wild.
This is wild.
Like, it was just, it's like, I don't know. The way he writes the song and he paints the picture, it's like I could put myself in the shoes of the kid who was fucking going on a ride with a new friend and then just gets like stabbed in the back and fucking murdered.
It's just like, I love when artists can actually tell a story and it all makes sense. Like, they're not just like lollygagging it, like, not even in that sense, but like a lot of people, they'll tell a story and like go around and then start talking about something different and then maybe tell a little bit of the story again and then,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
No, I completely agree. Like, and like, some people have a song where,
I don't know, just like you could see from his perspective to the other guy's perspective, it was all like rewatching the same thing but in a different guy's shoes.
Yeah.
So,
and also, like, some people will say like they're telling a story in music, but it's really just like a couple of the bars are like a very short story. It's like, oh yeah, I drove to the corner store, bought a fucking Pepsi, and then shot someone. Like, it's not the same as
getting right to the point. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's a time and a place for all kinds of music, but like, it's definitely not the same and doesn't take the same amount of skill as it does to make like a so tightly knit and like story like that falls together so well, and also like the fact that song like is also good to listen to.
That's the thing. That's what's so cool about music and the difference on just talking to someone and telling a story. Because if you talk to someone and tell someone a story, right, and you blab on, like, beat around the bush, or not. See,
no, you're saying it.
I know, but not really beat around the bush, but like not getting to the point right then and there, and like you keep like talking and stuff. Eventually, that person is gonna get bored because he's like waiting for you to get to the point, right? But in a song, if you do that and like keep talking about it, but not in the sense of telling the full, like, what actually is going on.
Yeah, he's saying everything that needs to be said to progress the story. there's like no fat on it. Like it's clean, it's trimmed up, and it's in a listenable package. And also it's more cinematic in music than just like sitting and telling a story. But and it brings more feeling when you just have the fucking killer production, the beats, the rhythm, the rhyme scheme. It's just all comes together for a really cool thing.
Now, question for you: when you hear music like that, do you think it's like better in a faster pace of route or like a slow pace, like like how sad songs are like slower for real? But
I mean I like it all. It depends what is being talked about. I think like I guess you could say like Stan is kind of a slower song, but I mean it's still some people would consider that fast. But like I don't know, like if you're trying to tell a story about, I don't know, I feel like you can make anything work. I don't really have a super big preference just because of the fact that like I try to love all music that I can. Like there's very little music that I can't get down with or can't find an appreciation for.
yeah,
So if they put time and thought into it, I feel like the artist can make a slow version work just as well as a fast version. But I mean, I'm sure there's stories that would really call for a super upbeat, fast like rhythm to it. Like if you're talking about somebody living their life like on the edge or super having like a fast life, if not to be like super literal, but like if somebody's doing like really crazy shit and you're talking about crazy shit or like dangerous kind of stuff, sometimes that's meant to be sped up so it can like have like the heart beating kind of feeling, or the anxiety you can feel that because of how fast it's going and how the beat changes. But yeah, I just want to talk about that for a second, but now we can talk about farts and dicks and poop and stuff.
speaking of dicks, you got dicks all around your house,
Dude, yeah, we haven't talked about that. Dude, so I quite literally do have dicks all around this house that we're in.
Secret dicks.
Because Colin used to have this friend that had a strange sense of humor. He would literally go and like sneak in these little Sharpie drawings of dicks and like all kinds of random spots around this house. Like I don't know how many of them are still here. I'm pretty sure there's quite a few, but like they're literally hidden. Like, and it's funny because like there's one that I know where it is and I can always find it, and it's like literally a Sharpie drawing of a penis on the fan in the living room. Like it's kind of hilarious that like it's just like out of nowhere, and like what made you think that you wanted to do that? Like how was it just one day he was like, yeah, I'm gonna put some dicks in this motherfucker's house. Like I'm gonna have some semen up in here. And I remember he like drew a bunch of fucked up shit on my piggy bank. Oh, dude, I used to watch the movie like as a young kid, Happy Feet.
Mm.
And dude, he drew all over that movie case.
All this,
like there, like the penguin has tits, and like one of the penguin with like the orange hairs or whatever, the surfer penguin, he has like a dick and tits. It's pretty wild.
Have you seen two? Happy Feet 2?
I don't know. I like once maybe. But
maybe. Yeah.
I
don't. What? How's it go?
I don't know, dude. I can't remember
close.
anything about that song. I mean that movie.
I don't even remember how it goes.
I was more of a fucking penguin. What's it called? Penguin's March, or do you know that like serious penguin movie like with real penguins where it talks about like the journey of a penguin from like birth to.
This penguin's walked 5 miles through the blizzard.
It's literally what it was like. It was like a super serious, like sad story about a penguin, like from birth to death. It was wild. But
starts knocking all the other penguins.
This penguin is a true mate. But no, like I didn't watch that many kids movies for that long because of how I've talked about before. Like I was watching R-rated movies, action movies, like The Hangover. Like I was watching movies like that really young. So like I almost didn't even have an opportunity to get into like childish stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
I watched a lot of SpongeBob always, but like
I watched Tom and Jerry. You watched Tom and Jerry?
yeah, like I love Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes. is
Like
sweet.
Bugs
But
Bunny
all
has always been
Boomerang.
my shit.
Like Cartoon Network and Boomerang. And all that shit. I used to watch that.
Boomerang, I liked Boomerang, but like it always makes me think about the feeling of like being bored on a summer day with like nothing to do and you're just stuck inside watching cartoons.
Yeah.
It almost makes me feel like depressed. But yeah, no, the cartoons on Boomerang was the hookup for cartoons, really was. I mean, Cartoon Network almost like they had some really weird
Dude.
shit, especially late at night.
I missed their website where you could play all the games and
Oh
shit.
yeah,
I forgot
dude.
about that.
That was wild. Like fucking what not Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but the group of superheroes that was like the Teen Titans.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, and they had like a Teen Titans fighting game that I would always play on there. That's crazy you bring that up. That's nostalgic. I want to get a Bugs Bunny tattoo.
Really?
Yeah, just because there's like
that would be cool. Him like smoking or like doing
Yeah.
some crazy shit.
there's like a picture that you can find of Bugs Bunny like completely wasted or
Yeah.
like going crazy or super tired. It's something like that.
I want to get shit like that. Like not human. Like things I would do. Not necessarily. I don't know. Like things I've done in my life, but instead of them being a human, being different characters.
Yeah, like a cartoon doing like a kickflip.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that would be sick.
Yeah, I actually wanted to just get a stick figure skateboarding just to be goofy.
That would. I mean, I kind of like the style of like having a sleeve, but it's not altogether a sleeve. It's just a bunch of little stuff
Yeah.
that blends together.
Well, I want a full-on sleeve at least on one arm, and then I want to do like doodly doo on the other, and then
Yeah.
my legs and shit.
What was the first I mean, I know the first skating trick was probably something like an ollie or something. But
Yeah,
like,
of course. That's always the first. I mean,
yeah.
like
But like
pop shove it and
once you got the basics down, like ollie and manual and
Kickflip.
whatever, what was your like the first fancy trick that you learned as a skater?
I learned kickflip at 7 years old.
A 7. Yeah, that's what's crazy about this motherfucker is like you started skating really young.
Like 6 or 5, somewhere around there.
It's like in your blood.
Yeah, I had a female teach me how to skate too. My ollie, she taught me how to ollie. She used to
Yeah.
get me on rollerblades and jump over like 3-4 people at a time. Dude, I was wild.
So, did you
as a kid.
when you started skating, were you rollerblading first or like were you rollerblading to get better at skating? Like
I think we rollerblade. Yeah, it was just fun. Rollerblade first. I mean, scooter, rollerblade. Wasn't really like into it. Then when she started teaching me skateboarding, I really got into that. I stuck with that. Like I would skate every fucking day, all day long.
yeah, I mean there's something about like skating culture that's like just really easy to dive into because like the feeling of getting a clean board or going to the skate shop and like picking stuff out and then
That's the thing too. I started out with Walmart boards and shit, and
Which
like
are
I
the
would
worst.
I'd break the plastic fucking trucks and stuff. My first ever board, I found it at a park. It was in like a little tunnel. It was all fucked up. Look, I mean, not really fucked up, but I mean like the wheels. You could tell this person has had the wheels forever. Like they were shaved down or something. Or
yeah.
I don't know if they even
was
wanted
beat
it
the fuck
anymore.
up.
Exactly. But I had that thing forever, and that was
What kind of board was it? Do you remember?
flip.
Flip. Yeah, I was like wondering like I don't know. It's just crazy cuz I got into skating because I mean I had a skateboard and I got into it a little bit before I met you.
Yeah.
But then like I kind of put it away a little bit because I didn't really know anybody else to skate with. I actually used to skate with my dad when he was like
your
in his
dad had a
50s.
skateboard. He had like the big fucking
He had like an alien board.
longboard wheels or something on it. Like,
Yeah, he had like an Alienware board. It was nice, but he had put like these really smooth riding, like big, like you said, longboard wheels, and it would ride super smooth. But it was like definitely just a cruiser. But that's the crazy thing is like I got into skating. And before I met you, I would just like skate around when I was bored, or like sometimes me and my dad would go to like a parking lot somewhere and we would skate together. And it was crazy because he got into it when he was literally like he had to have been late 50s, early 60s.
Jeez, yeah.
So it was pretty wild. People would like laugh at us like skating together, and I mean it's shout out to Bob because that was a cool move.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah.
But
My dad, I remember my first dad. My first time my dad got it on my skateboard when I was a little kid. He fucking stepped right onto it, bro, and just flew. Like, it just flew
it's
underneath.
the cliche. You fuck yourself up that first time. It feels like it'd be impossible. Like, I'm sure it's hard for you to remember because you've been good at it for so long. But, like, when you first step on a skateboard, the feeling is, like, you're so unbalanced and, like, shaky, and it's just, like, rolling underneath you. And it's hard to, like, get your footing and, like, feel like you could actually ride it. Like,
Yeah.
I remember pretty clearly, like, the first time I stepped on a board, and I'm like, dude, this is fucking almost impossible. But it's just like driving. Once you get used to it, you get a feel for it, and you can just get better. But
I had a different look at it when I was younger. Like, I don't know, like, I felt like a little rebel on a skateboard. Like, I'd go down any ramp, any street, anything. Like,
yeah.
I'd get hurt, get right back up, go, you know. Like,
How long did it take you to have that attitude about it? Was it like pretty instant?
When I really started getting into park, like, what do you mean? When I first got that feeling, or when it
like
ended?
when did you feel like you're like fuck it, I'll go down any hill or try and do any trick?
Oh, like when I was when I was young, man, I was like getting it, like first starting into it.
So like you say you started skating when you were like 6 or 7.
I'd probably like a year or two, you know, after
Okay.
I got used to the board, I was already probably just like.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helps to be like a kid and have that.
That's what I'm saying. As being a kid, you don't really think about all the dangers. And
Exactly.
shit, you know, so you go all out. But then I fucking, like I said, you see me break my ankle and stuff. And then it started like getting like, oh, I can't get fucked up, you know, because I need to have my body right for the things I need to do for the life, you know. I live and shit. And then what really started like calming me down too is like, I remember trying to do competition for old school one time at Westerville Skate Park. And
I don't even know if I know about this.
so they do it. It's not like a real thing. Like, they come to the Westerville, or they used to. I don't know if they still do now, but they used to come every once in a while, or like one time in the summer for the summer. And they would fucking host this little showdown thing, and like everybody was invited. You can come and like participate, and they had like sunglasses or like shirts and stuff.
Like prizes?
Yeah. They would give out and stuff, but they would set it up. So they'd be like, all right, so we're about to set up a game of skate. Who's doing like what's doing what? Let's do sections of multiple people doing it. And like you guys had to tell the truth, you know, obviously, so on who won, so they can get the prize and stuff. So the one I went into was who can get like the highest air.
Oh, okay.
And this, I don't know how I've never measured it, but it's taller than I am. The ramp is, and it has the metal bar. And I was pushing, man. I was rolling deep, feeling like a badass. Like, I got this. Like, I've been doing this forever, bro. I'm about to show you I'm a fucking bird or something, you know.
Got more experience than you fuckers.
Dude, I went in, bro, and I don't know what it was, but like when I went up, I like lost my balance at the same time and leaned back, because you're supposed to lean forward.
Yeah.
So you don't, you know.
You have to lean into it.
Oh, dude, I like fucked it up, dude, and my legs were literally up in the air, and I was literally like, my head was like, dude, I landed so hard on my back, and like my knees touched my forehead. And
Jesus Christ.
I pancaked like a motherfucker.
Kneed yourself in the face.
Dude, it was so bad. And they were like, oh my gosh, here's a pair of sunglasses.
Yeah, it's fucking, you put your all into it, you get something.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, like I remember trying to like, we would try and get you sponsored because I mean I had no fucking hope of getting sponsored. I was just always cruising around with you guys, and like I would try and learn how to do little things. Like I got ollie down and like manual, but that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we would try and get you sponsored, and we'd like go to the skate shop. What was it called? It was
It was old school.
old school.
Yeah, it was old school.
Okay, yeah. Well, we went to the skate shop and we started talking
The
about
one downtown, low key.
yeah. We talked to them about how we could like get you sponsored and like hook you up with some fucking gear and shit. And they were like, yeah, just like put together some sort of video and like, you know, get some tricks in there, and then we'll like look at it. And if you got talent, which we know you did, then we'll sponsor you. So we were like, all right, fucking bet. And so I remember like getting my camera and we would go to spots and like I would record you doing all these crazy tricks and fucking I mean the biggest memory, I mean we have some still up on our Instagram, but like one of the biggest memories I have with that whole thing was like you were trying to do this tray flip up a like it was like an incline, like a little ramp for a loading dock.
Oh yeah.
And you were riding up the side of it and then like popping up into a tray flip at the top and then riding it back down.
And I didn't even know how to tray really at that time. I was just going for it.
Yeah.
And it came out clean as fuck. Same with the I did a varial going up it too. And like that's the second part where I go up and then land halfway and then slide it down. Yeah.
It was like, dude, I just remember it got into like late at night and we were just like, fuck it, we're not going home until we figure this shit out. And like I would just record you try after try, and then you eventually got it. And it was like, it's just cool because it was like our first like introduction. And I mean, you had been skating for a long time, but like you were trying to get sponsored and we were working on it together. And it was my kind of first introduction into like trying to like film stuff and not really photography, but kind of that world of like trying to document stuff like that and like put it together for a purpose.
Yeah.
And it was sick.
I don't know. You think if we had the mindsets that we do now with like everything we do now, we would have stuck with it?
I mean, dude, we should have known. We could have easily gotten you sponsored. What ended up happening was we kind of just were like, we did all this work putting together all these clips, but then we never really put it together and then showed them. Yeah. But like, I'm not really exactly sure why that was, but like we definitely.
Not even that. I mean, like you think we would have stuck with recording and like keeping up with stuff like that?
Well, I was gonna say like you could have definitely you would have easily gotten sponsored by them. We could have definitely stuck with that, and then I would have loved to like continue to document like all the videos or the vlogs or the fucking skate days, because we could have done it. I don't even think we really doubted ourselves, but like we just, I don't know, we were kids and just like doing.
I'm only saying that because you do photography on the side and all this, like for concerts and videos, or you know.
I mean, dude, we still could like go out and like get some sick pictures of you skating. Okay, for some reason this camera wants to cut off randomly, but okay, we were talking about you skating and how we could still do stuff like that. And the funny thing is, we actually took you out to the skate park for the first time in a while. I don't know how long it had been for you, but
been a minute, yeah.
We went out there with my new camera. I think it was my new camera. Whoa, got the burps. Went to the skate park and we did some promotion pictures for the first Scheuneman drop. Yeah. And you were just dressed out in like the whole Scheuneman fit. You were looking sick, I do say so myself. No, thank you. You had the calfskin leather jacket on with the goose tee and the nice Scheuneman jeans with the distressing. And we just had you doing fucking wild runs and tricks in the Scheuneman gear, and that was pretty fun. So, I mean, we could really get back into it. I'm down. And honestly, I see a reality where, like, after once we, like, move to Florida and do this and do that, do a couple more drops, I mean, in the near future, we could really get you, like, on your own. Like, you'll still obviously be working with us, but we could start working on a little side hustle for you where you do get sponsored and you do go and, like, we could do, like, you know, skating vids with you, and we could drop them on either the Scheuneman YouTube or the some other YouTube for yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could totally do that.
That'd be cool as fuck.
But all right.
I want to do a lot of shit though. With shit, like
Yeah, we got big plans.
Yeah.
So we are at about an hour, and we got into a little bit of a serious little not rant, but we're on some serious topics, getting deep. So now let's get a little silly for this last little segment of it. I have a few topics in this old book that I wanted to run through, and before that, I do want to say, rest in peace to PNB Rock. That was crazy.
For sure, yeah.
It was wild to see that happen. I was thinking about, like, I don't know what's worse. I usually will wake up to seeing the headline of, like, I wake up and first thing I see scrolling through Instagram is, for example, when Juice WRLD died. I woke up and that was like one of the first things I saw. And you wake up to that and it's like, oh, what the fuck? And that was a big one for me because I'm like a big Juice WRLD fan. And he's so talented, and you just wake up and see they're dead. It's fucked up. But maybe even worse is when something happens like what happened with PNB Rock. From my perspective, is I was going throughout my day, and I remember seeing the first little headline of PNB Rock shot. And when that first came out, it was like, it talked about how, like, he was at the restaurant and some people, like, tried to rob him and they shot him, but he was going on to the hospital.
Yeah.
And they were like, his condition is unknown. And then I saw a couple more posts like an hour later where it was like talking about what had happened. They were like, he's in the hospital. We wish him a speedy recovery. Prayers to him and his family. And I was like, okay. Like, I kind of was under the impression that he was going to be okay. Mm-hmm. Like, it's obviously terrible. He was shot and it sucks. But, like, I thought it was like what happened with little TJ. Like, he got shot, but he's going to make it. Mm-hmm. And then a couple hours later, you see those headlines of, like, PNB Rock dead at, what was it? I don't know. But PNB Rock passed away. And I was like, fuck. Like, that's shitty. Like, it's bad. I mean, PNB Rock was popping at a part in our lives when, like, so much good music was coming out. Oh, yeah. And it was such a good, I think it was like 2016 was kind of one of his years. And I remember, like, listening to his music with me and my, like, friends, and just, he's definitely got some songs that were playing at big parts in our lives, and it's shitty to hear. So R.I.P. It's a bad one to lose. And then on top of that, fucking the Queen died.
Yeah, the Queen. Yeah,
which is, I mean, it's kind of wild. I mean,
she was.
PNB Rock was more. It's more of a thing to me, but the Queen, that's big news. I mean, but she was like in her 90s, upper 90s, and so
still wild, but like, holy cow! Yeah.
And plus, dude, like, the fact they're changing all the currency, now it's a king instead of a queen, and also I read this little headline of like, I think it was like some prince or some person in the royal family, because the queen died, he got an inheritance of like some crazy amount of money, like $2 billion, like a shit ton of money got inherited to him. Jeez. Because of something that was written down and established in the year like 1314. Like, it was an old thing where they were like, after the death of the queen, after the death of the so-and-so child, then the first child of so-and-so will inherit the something duke's inheritance, something like that. And so it was pretty much like hundreds of years ago, people set this up to where if such a thing happens, this kid that they don't even know the existence of will inherit this money. And it was like $4 billion, like a fuck ton of money. And the fact that it was like from a thing that was established in the year 1300.
Did they say that much money, or is that just how much it would be back then?
No, it's like that much. He's got like it's some billions of dollars today. So, I mean, that's pretty fucking wild. But yeah, R.I.P. P&B Rock and R.I.P. the Queen.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to laugh, but that's just a very funny sentence. Not funny, but like
R.I.P. the Queen.
it's a who would have thought.
Did I say P?
And I don't know. We probably shouldn't get too into it because it's a heated discussion right now. But I mean, people are blaming his girlfriend, and
Yeah.
it's wild, and some people are going a little too crazy with it.
I saw this thing like people who post like the headlines of stuff like that. Like they posted, oh, a reason that he got killed is because his girlfriend, like stating the obvious, and all the comments were like, oh, no shit, like, oh, obviously, and all that.
I don't know. I mean, it's fucked up for her. Like, she has to go through a lot of hate because of that, and it's like, obviously, she wasn't thinking about that situation happening when she posted their location. I mean, for people who don't know, it's this rapper P&B Rock. He was shot in like a not so great area of LA, I think, and a lot of people think that the reason he was killed was because his girlfriend posted a picture of them eating at this spot and included the location of the spot, and then very shortly after that, people came and shot him. So, I mean, I'm not going to say my opinion on that. I mean, it's fucked up, and I feel bad for her to go through that, and I feel bad for his family, and it's a legend that we lost, so that sucks. And all respects to that. And
yeah, it's crazy because I see things like with X and shit. Like he's done shit back in the day too. Like,
oh yeah, like him and X were really tight. Him and Kodak were really tight. A lot of people are talking about how cool of a person he was. But yeah, it's kind of hard to go from that topic to some of the stuff that I would like to talk about, but just know, like, we mourn his loss, and it's a terrible thing. And moment of silence. Did you see Kim K's sex tape?
I've seen it before, but is there like a full thing or something?
I had never seen it.
You've never seen it?
No, and recently all that stuff has been coming out with I'm blanking on his name. Who's the guy that fucked her?
Ray J?
Ray J, yeah. Recently, Ray J has been coming out and, like, flaming the whole family.
Yeah, why is he flaming them, though?
It's because they're dude. We're in the industry where we don't want to make enemies, and we want to be cool with as many people as possible. But, like, the Kardashians are insane, dude. Like, her mom, Kim Kardashian's mom, is, like, she, like, is their manager. Like, she sets them up with all these, like, opportunities and things to do for their careers. And some of the things that she does, it just makes her look like a fucking insane person. And so the whole thing is, like, her mom pretty much set up the sex tape, right?
Oh, what?
And so they wrote all these contracts out, and they, like, it was like they planned how it was going to be released, and
what the fuck?
And what ended up happening is, I don't know a bunch about it, but it's pretty much like certain people tried to blame Ray J for the sex tape or say that they were against it, and Ray J, it's his fault that it such and such happened. Like, people, pretty much the Kardashians were turning their backs on Ray J and saying that he fucked up in some sort of way surrounding that sex tape. And also, I think he hasn't gotten paid fully. But then Ray J came out with the receipts and started talking about, like, dude, this was, like, planned by, I think it was also a secret who planned it and certain things that were behind it. And he exposed these things. Like, for example, he exposed, I don't get super into the fucking Kardashian drama because I have a life. But, like, there's things with the Kardashian drama that people who are into that stuff would, like, know why Ray J and Kim were beefing and all this stuff. But, like, they were beefing. And so he exposed that he tried to, like, shake hands with Kim and, like, have everything be cool. And he also exposed that this was, like, a planned thing, and there were contracts, and it was, like, twisted for the media, but in reality it was this way. And, like, and they were all denying it, and it was just a bunch of bullshit, and he was exposing everyone, and it was pretty entertaining. So I was just watching this video of him on live and all that stuff, and I was like, that's interesting, and then I realized, like, I've heard about this sex tape for so long, but I've never seen it. And I mean, I'm a dude. I wouldn't mind seeing.
You're like, I'm about to pull this shit up right now.
I was like, I wouldn't mind seeing Kim Kardashian have sex. And so I go on Pornhub. I do my research. I start typing away, and I'm like,
oh,
Kim Kardashian sex. I find it, and dude, I start watching it, and I'm wiping the dust off my eyes. I'm waking up, and I'm like, okay. And so like, the first things I started to notice is, first off, like, it almost seemed, I didn't watch the whole thing for reasons that I'll explain, but like, it almost seemed like, from what I saw, Kim Kardashian refused to be naked. Like, she was, I don't know how much you've seen, but from everything I saw, she was wearing a bra and panties the whole time. And you couldn't really see much of her, you know.
You didn't see the part where he was eating her out.
I saw that, but I clicked. Let me explain.
I'll get
I
straight
ended up.
to it.
I would like you to fill me in, because I ended up clicking off because Ray J's talking and Ray J's sounds and all of that were not, like, I wasn't watching this beaten off.
No, I wasn't either, and I didn't
was
watch
just
the whole
watching
thing
it to
either.
see
But I
it.
had to watch the
But
actual parts, not the fucking.
It took me out of it so much that Ray J was like, not only his dirty talk was like disturbing, also when he was eating her out, he was like, I mean, I don't want to put you guys through it, but he was like,
professional over here.
But he was being so overly dramatic. Like, he was like fucking looking like a horny flamingo or something. Like, it was just so weird.
You're like studying this shit, like, oh,
I was just like,
supposed to go that way, not that way.
Well, I mean, I am a professional with the cunnilingus, but no, I was just like, dude, you're being so extra. It gave me the heebie-jeebies, and I was like,
yeah.
And then also I noticed, like, Kim Kardashian why do I keep saying Kardashian? No, Kim Kardashian seems like kind of pissed off the whole time. Because there's a part where he's like recording her on her bed, and she's like laying there looking all sexy in lingerie. And, and like, you can see that she's annoyed. And you can, knowing what we know, that there was like contracts behind this, and it's all like, porn itself is like fake. But you can just see she's not into it. And then at one point, he like goes like up, like he gets the camera and like gets a downward angle on her with the camera above her, and she was like, no sky shots, please, or something like that. Just being like, don't do that.
You watched the actual, like, you watched the.
I only watched total. Like, I started at the beginning. I didn't skip through it, and I only got like 5 minutes in, maybe not even. So maybe I'm talking out of school and I don't know the whole thing. But yeah, it was just like, she seems annoyed. Ray J's being fucking weird, talking about like dirty talking, and I've never been a huge fan of guys in porn. Like, I never used to think about it, but then once I did start thinking about it, like, I don't like to see the guy fucking talk. I don't like to see dick. I don't like to see him talking dirty, because it's always making me feel weird. Yeah. And like, it's just, I'm not a huge fan of people being super extra about it either. Like, if there's gonna be a guy in the porn, I want them to be quiet. But yeah.
I want them to be quiet.
So I was just watching, like, this is kind of weird, and like, it's and yeah, I tapped out when he started eating her out, and he was just like fucking moving his head and bopping up and down and fucking, you like that, just fucking, and he was like slurping. And it's like, you don't have to do that. Like, you don't, like, trust me, I know. No, but, so tell me, Marquise, what do you know about this sex tape? Is there a point where she does get naked?
Yeah, I thought she does get naked.
When the parts that I saw
from the back or something like that.
Maybe, but the parts I saw, he was eating her out with like.
I don't remember. It was so long.
He was doing it in the way where he moved the panties to the side.
Yeah.
And did it like that. So
yeah. That is true. I forgot about that. Yeah.
So when he starts hitting it from the back, is he doing the same thing where it's like moved to the side?
I don't even remember. Dude, I watched the video so long ago when it like before this stuff started happening, like years ago.
Yeah. I mean, dude,
Oh shit.
when are they gonna make the sequel with Kylie?
Bro.
I got a crush on Kylie. No,
She's so bad, bro.
dude, have you seen the? But not. I think she's always been pretty. We respect women over here, but like, have you seen the pictures of her before she got like the surgery and
I'm
the
fucking stupid for that.
the surgery and the makeup and all that? Like, there's runway pictures of her where she's like, she looks like a kid from our school. Like, she looks not out of the ordinary, and she's like got like negative lips.
Yeah.
But no, like Kylie now is just like Kylie now is so beautiful, dude. She's a queen. No, but like yeah, so did you not feel the same? I know it was a while ago, but like wasn't it kind of strange how he was fucking
I don't really think about that. I'm just like intrigued. Like, oh, this celebrity's got a fucking sex tape. I want to see what's going on. I wonder, like, is it a different style? Like, do they do like different shit? Is it like, what's it like to be a celebrity to get paying?
Oh yeah, dude. If I was Ray J, I would have bust in negative seconds, dude. Like fucking Kim Kardashian, that's a lot of pressure and that's a lot of booty.
Same, bro.
I also saw this. Have you seen the Saweetie sex tape?
No.
Yeah, she gives head to this guy, and it's pretty nice. It's pretty cool. No, Saweetie's.
It's just so
did you know Saweetie's like smart as fuck?
Oh shit.
She went to like law school. Like
Oh,
she,
shit.
I'm pretty sure she passed her bar exam. Like she's smart, but she also sucks a mean dick. But people were giving her shit because of how she was doing it. Like she kind of just like bops it on her face and like licks it like a lollipop.
You wouldn't want to slap your dick across?
No, I wouldn't hate slapping my dick on Saweetie's face. But
shit.
shout out to City Girls. We love you. But no, yeah, the tape of Saweetie is pretty cool. But how many other sex tapes are there? Do you know any?
Panama Anderson and Tommy Lee.
Oh,
on a boat.
I haven't seen that one. Dude, confession. I'm not like a big porn guy. Like I've gone years without watching porn. Like recently. I think like a couple weeks ago I watched porn for the first time in like a year. Like straight.
Damn.
It had been a while. I usually go in the memory bank.
You just think about Oh
No.
my
Oh,
gosh.
Cut the tape. Cut the tape. No. But I'm not a huge porn guy.
That was cool. It said 2 3 3 3 3 3.
223. I don't know. I don't know. I used to get. What kind of porn do you watch? I'll tell you.
Put me on the spot.
No, I really did. What's your go-to kind of porn?
Honestly, I just browse through and then I'm like,
Pornhub, Bang Bus. What do you watch?
Oh, Pornhub.
Oh, my original question was what you were saying, but I just also added like, yeah, I'm a Pornhub guy too.
Sometimes it'd be taking a minute. I'm like,
Yeah, dude. And those ads, bro. Do you want to get your bigger from the fucking tiny shriveled up piece of mess that it is now?
pill and you will drill
Yeah, it's wild. And then the titles on Pornhub are very crass. They're like fucking brutal. Fucking schoolgirl gets demolished and they burn her corpse afterwards. Yeah.
Oh, that took a twist.
But no, yeah. So do you have a genre, a category? Like I usually find myself in the
I
category.
mean, if I'm in the mood, I may go for the schoolgirl, but
schoolgirl,
nah,
you a babysitter kind of guy?
shit.
I don't mind the babysitter kind of guy. Like,
Are you into?
why are you?
Are you the role play type of motherfucker?
Nah. Oh, during sex?
Yeah.
Or-
Would you make your girl get dressed?
I've never done that. I've never done that before.
I don't know why I'm laughing, but
No, it's okay. We'll do whatever you want to do. But I've never done that before. I don't mind talking a little dirty. I don't mind.
yeah. I mean, I'm very blunt.
But I don't know. But back when at the peak of my porn usage, I would find myself either. Here's my top 3. This is a Scheuneman show exclusive. I'll either go lesbian, because I was talking about I don't really like to see the men.
yeah. I like to
then
watch girls play with themselves.
blonde, and then like babysitter.
You said blonde?
Blonde, and then so my
I used
top.
to do brunette. I'm not gonna lie.
This is why we're best friends. This is
That's
why
back
we're
in the
best
day,
friends. Yeah, no, I'm a sucker for blonde girls.
I like them all, but I used to just type in brunette.
Yeah, so not in this order, but yeah, like my top 3. Oh, did I say Ebony?
Oh, Ebony.
It's
bro.
hard to find a good Ebony
I
video.
know,
Is
but-
that how you say it, by the way?
Yeah, Ebony.
Yeah, it's
Ebony.
Ebony, but it's hard to find a good one. But once you can find a good one, it's yes. What's happening outside? Is father?
Yeah, it's the trash
Father's
can.
home.
The trashy con.
Yeah.
Fucking. So you watch Bazaar or Baz, whatever fuck that's called?
Babysitter?
No, but what's the BAZZ?
Brazzers?
Or is it Bazaar?
I don't know. I'm always Pornhub. I remember when I was a
Oh.
kid, like not a kid, but like the first time I was searching for porn, I was like, where is it? I didn't know where to go, and I somehow found myself on what's it called? XTube or PornTube? DickTube?
I don't know.
But it was
Yo,
the
Pornhub.
YouTube. It's like a porn site that's like YouTube but porn,
Yeah.
and it's like amateurs.
Ah.
So it was like weird, but my intro into porn was like strange because I would find myself watching like some 40-year-old dude fuck a fucking not a MILF. Bob is just walking in the back door as we speak about our Dad. Come in here. We're gonna get a take from Bob.
Hi, Bob.
Bob's takes. Dad, what are your top 3 categories of porn?
Top 3 categories of porn.
Closer to the mic. I'm stuck.
None of your damn business.
No, I just
whatever.
scroll.
We had just discussed our top 3 categories, but if you don't want to be included, that's fine. Shoe off now. No, just kidding.
I'm going to take a hard pass on that.
All right, Dad.
He likes the hard pass one.
Hey, the scent in the air is...
We had to use the stove. Let's not talk about criminal mischief on the show. I love you, Dad. Oh, yeah, bird. All right, we got to get back to the show. We're about to close it up, but
It's all staticky now. Oh,
don't say
Bob,
that.
you got like a magnet in your pants or something? Damn.
You might be
making
stepping on the court. All right.
Oh, makes sense.
So I have a story about a police encounter that I had the other night. Yeah, I knew Dad would fucking tweak out about that.
Oh, why?
Why don't you just listen? All right. So, have I told you this one?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, recently, I drove home after work, as a good man does, and I pull into my driveway and I think, oh shoot, I don't have a beverage or a snack, and so I took a pizza I was eating inside from my car, put it in the fridge, and then I went back outside, leaving my garage door open, as I usually don't do, but I knew I'd be right back. The gas station's like 5 minutes away. So I leave the garage door open, and then I drive to the gas station, and I pick up a couple beverages. And I'm trying to think. I think I got some. Oh, yeah, that was my first time getting the voodoo drink, which we haven't tried on here. But anyway, so I get some drinks, and I drive back home. And on the way home, I had started listening to Something's Burning, which is a show which is pretty cool. It's like Bert Kreischer hosts it, which is a comedian, and then he'll have different comedians on to help him cook something. So he just released this new episode where it was Bert Kreischer, Bobby Lee, and Mark Normand, and they were cooking like burgers. This is gonna kill me. It was a kind of burger. What's it called? It's fermented cabbage. Fuck. It was some kind of like Asian style burger, and they were cooking it. And I was intrigued by the video. That's really all that matters. And I was watching it in my car, parked outside of my house on the street. So I was watching it, car still on, And then as I'm watching it, I see out the corner of my eye these bright LED lights that typically are on police cars. And I live in like a nice neighborhood. It's like the suburbs. Don't really like it, but it's like there's not crime happening here. It's kind of out the way in the country, sort of. And so I'm like, that's weird. The cops aren't usually in this neighborhood. But he drives by me slow, passes by, and then behind me is like the stop sign a little ways down. And he's stopped at the stop sign on the wrong side of the road, takes a left. He goes away, and I'm like, oh, okay. Keep watching the video for a second. Like 10, 15 seconds pass. And then, I see him again, but now he's behind me coming back. So he's back on my road, driving up behind my car. And then I'm like, fuck. I'm like I start thinking, like, I don't have anything bad on me. Like, I haven't committed any criminal deeds. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, I'm good. I'm just going to watch some more of this video. And so I'm watching it, and I'm like, all right. Like, I start to open my door, and I'm watching it, and I start to turn on my car, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, I should probably go inside. Because I'm sure, because at this point, he stopped behind me. Mm-hmm. No police lights, like not the sirens on, but his lights are like beaming at my face. And so I'm like, all right, well, he's probably wants to talk to me, and he's probably confused about something. And so I click the video off, I grab my drinks, and I step out of the car, and I'm walking to my house, and I see him walking towards me. So I'm like, okay, what's up, officer? And I start talking to him, and he's like, hey, just, I forget what he said first. He starts to say something like, I was just wondering about what you were doing, or something like that. And I'm like, oh, yeah, no, I just got back from getting some drinks. I live here, by the way, so I was just getting some drinks and going inside for the night. And he was like, okay, well, I was just checking up on you. Just thought it was strange that your garage door was open and that you were parked out front of your house, or that you were parked on the street. And I was like, well, yeah, no, I just was watching this video, and I went to go get my drink, so I'm about to go inside. And he's like, all right, well, yeah, I'm sorry to bother you. I was just checking around because we've had some carjackings in the neighborhood. And I was like, oh, really? Carjackings in this neighborhood? That's kind of weird. And then I did something kind of stupid. I was like, the Kias. Oh. And then he was like, yeah.
Oh, fuck.
He's like, I don't know if they're a gang or what, but these kids have been getting into these Kias and breaking into them. They're calling themselves the Kia Boys.
Like, that's a thing going on TikTok right now. Everybody's stealing the Kias, bro.
I was like, oh my God, that's goofy. And I was like, oh yeah, by the way, not to incriminate myself, I just knew that I had been told at work a while back, because I worked in downtown area, not so nice areas, and I would be working in the middle of the night, so the managers of the work site would tell me, like, hey, watch your car, make sure it's locked and all that, because people have been breaking into Kias. They have a way that they can start the cars with like a fucking screwdriver or something. Yeah. And so I'm telling them all that, and I'm like, yeah, sorry, I know it probably doesn't sound the best that I know what you're talking about. I just had heard about it before. And he's like, oh yeah, you're all good. I just wanted to check up. And I was like, yep, all right, well, thanks for doing your job, and blah, blah, blah. And I've had bad experiences with police many times, so yeah. I'm always anxious talking to the police at all times. I knew I was perfectly in the right with anything I was doing, but I was still like kind of shaking. And I was just like thinking, like, I hope he doesn't notice that I'm fucking nervous. And but everything went fine, and I went inside, but it was just weird. And I was also kind of trying not to look. I was trying to look directly in his eyes because he had this, you know what a cleft lip is?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
He had the cleft lip scar on his lip, and it was pretty out there, and so I was just like, that's wild. But I don't really know what that comes from.
Isn't that like extra part of skin
Bob,
on
what does
your lip?
cleft lips come from? Quick answer for the podcast.
It can be a genetic disorder,
So a cleft lip is a genetic disorder.
It's just your body didn't complete.
Yeah, it was you were forming. It's like when you're downloading an update and you turn your PlayStation off before
my
the
gosh.
update's downloaded.
And your character is all.
It can be through trauma too.
Oh, okay. So like getting your lip busted. Okay. Thank you, Bob, for your
Yeah, Bob.
information. So that was a strange encounter, and I was like also thinking like, would he have stopped and came back if I wasn't there and he just saw my garage open? Like, would he have knocked on my door?
What if you
Because
just
he-
pulled your car out the garage and you were just.
Exactly. It's like not strange.
Yeah.
It's because what he's saying is there's the reason I'm curious is because there's carjackings, but
Your garage.
why does it spike your curiosity just that I am in a car that's started? It's like a little. You're kind of jumping the gun a little bit, and also like I'm sure the police in that area know about our house because we used to have a dog shit roommate that would start a whole bunch of drama. Starting to try and fight or pull guns on people and punch holes in walls. We had to kick him out. It was a whole thing. But he tried to call the police on us, and then the police ended up turning on him and being like, dude, you're the dumbass. But long story short, the police have been to this house before, and they know that we're not bad folk, but they kind of know this house. So I'm just like, maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so that was interesting. And hold on, I'm checking my.
Bob pissing with the door open again.
Yeah, people can probably hear Bob's pee trickle down if they listen closely. Do you wanna pick a topic and then I'll pick a topic
Sure.
and then we'll call it a day?
Sure.
I go through either these or these. Try one of these.
Encore.
Encore. Do you want to? Is that the one you wanted to?
A brothel for minors.
Oh, okay. Fuck it. Yeah, I was reminiscing on a place that we used to go to kind of party as middle schoolers and like freshman year students. There was this very like reminiscing like or looking back. It's so strange, this place and its whole like business plan. It was this like club that was built for minors, at least on like the weekends or something, or a Friday night and Saturday night. The theme was like for middle school, high school kids to come and like party there. And I mean, they didn't like give us alcohol or anything, but it was like clearly like a club type vibe, but for minors. And we would just go there all the time, or like every now and then, and like the whole thing that everybody would do there. I mean, you probably know, like,
Twerking.
yeah, it was like when twerking and like getting it thrown back on you was like at its peak, at least for us. And like, it's just so strange when you think about like this club was having kids come and literally like just fucking shaking ass on each other. And like, it was for us middle school, high school kids to like hook up with people. And it was just like, it's ran by adults. And also, not to mention, the guy who promoted it ended up getting he was turned out to be like a pedophile. So it was a very strange thing looking back on it. Like, I mean, I'd been there quite a few times, and it was fun. But like, if you go there and you're not single, it's not very fun because you're sober and you're just staring at girls flirting with guys or guys flirting with girls and watching people have fun that you can't have. So I've been there single and I've been there in a relationship, and it's a completely different vibe depending on those two things. And like, It's just weird looking back on it. And I mean, I have some stories there. I mean, there was one time where there was like almost a shootout because these fucking kids were like repping some gang. I don't know if the gang was like a legit gang or if it was a group of kids that like really wanted to be hard but weren't hard, so they like made up a fucking clubhouse and called it a gang. But pretty much like this one kid's like, oh, this gang, and then the other kid's like, no, this gang, and then they started fucking fighting each other and started like fighting, and some guy pulled a gun, and I think like this guy was even driving his car like playing chicken with other people in his car. It was just fucked up.
Wow.
But yeah, that's kind of just a brief little thing about Encore.
It was cool.
Anybody who was from our time or went to the schools we went to probably knows exactly what we're talking about. Now it's an Indian food restaurant.
Yeah.
Which is really weird to see. It's like a restaurant and it's still pretty. It's funny because it's like the same layout and everything. Like very little has changed.
Have you been inside of it?
Yeah, I've done DoorDash. Yeah. Once again, we've been cut off by technology and its thresholds. We're gonna have to get that fixed. But
Yeah.
I was talking about Encore. The guy was a pedophile. Yeah. So we're about to bring things to an end, but I just did have one more story that I wanted to get out there because it was a pretty strange thing that happened to me the other day. I was going out trying to make plans with a friend, and I was like in the mood for sushi. Shout out Oishi Sushi. That place is really good in Powell, and they got slab stuff, and I was ready to eat some fish. And it was a nice day, so I was like, okay, let's go get some sushi, and then it'll be fun. We can finish up there and then take a walk down to Rita's, because I love Rita's. I like Italian Ice. I like all that stuff. Shout out both those places, both in Powell. So it was like a cool area to walk around downtown and stuff. But then I was like, all right, well, let me make sure that they're open. I mean, yeah, just paint the picture like it's going to be fun. We're going to eat some sushi, finish up there, and then go walk around the town, and then make our way to Rita's, which is right down the street, have some fucking ice cream, and then call it a night. But then I look it up, and they're closed. They're closed permanently.
What?
So not all Rita's, but just this one location. Now, would you like to know why this Rita's is closed permanently?
Yeah, of course.
You're like, no. But so I look into it, and so this location used to do these things with the workers there. Well, no, let me start off by saying, imagine the crew of people that work at Rita's. It's like people are our age, but also probably younger. Probably like middle school, high school kids, just like getting some kind of gig. Young people. And so the owner/manager of this select location, we used to do these things on Fridays called Fun Fridays. Now, on those Fun Fridays, he would get everybody together. They would hang out, watch movies, listen to music, and he would supply them with alcohol.
Oh.
He would supply the minors with alcohol, and that's what they would call Fun Friday. But it gets a little darker because what would happen at the end of these Fun Fridays, you'd have these minors that were drunk, weren't supposed to be drunk, and then the owner would take them home and assault them. He got picked up on rape charges, sexual assault charges, and supplying alcohol to minors.
Jeez, bro. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's fucked up. And Fun Friday is not Fun Friday. It's Fucked Friday. I didn't mean it like that. I just mean it's a bad thing. And it was just so crazy. I was like, I thought that would be fun. Like, it's going to be a cool plan. Point A to point B to point C. And then I just fucking pedophile ruined my ice cream. It's just it's fucked up.
Shaved ice.
Yeah, and I feel bad
That's
for
wild
those
as
victims,
fuck.
and it's like a terrible thing to happen. But it's just like I would never would have thought. It's like the Ritas got shut down because some fucking creep wanted to like assault these minors. It's like a terrible thing, and it's like the people that work for you, and you're like taking advantage of them and getting them drunk and shit. It's fucked. And
It's
so
wild as fuck.
yeah, now that I think about it, like I thought that was not an interesting thing, but it was like a kind of wild thing to talk about. Now I'm like, whoa, is that like how we want to end it? We are gonna end it, but quick little thing. I did have a fun thing happen to me the other day. I was wearing one of the prototypes of it was a Scheuneman piece that has yet to release officially. So I was wearing a prototype, and actually this prototype is a colorway that won't be released. You could technically call it a colorway. It was a little bit different of a design, and it was like the first version. And I just wore it out because I was wearing one of my crazier pairs of pants that were like colorful, and so this design on the shirt was like matched the colors pretty well.
Yeah.
It'll never be out, but it was pretty cool. And so I was in this gas station, UDF, and the lady in front of me in line was like talking to her friend, and then she like looks back and she's like, "Oh my God, I love you." Okay, so the shirt says "love you." It's our slogan, but it's like love, comma you. But she read it like love you, or something. And she's like, "Oh my God, that just made my day. It's so sweet. I like that shirt. Like I love you too. Blah blah blah. That's so cool." And like all that. And I was like, "Oh yeah, thanks." It's actually, and I explained to her like, it actually means this. And it's like it's like signing a letter, like love you, but it's like instead of love Tommy, it's like love you, love yourself. So I was explaining that to her, and she thought it was really cool. And it's just fun when random strangers will just be like, "Oh, that's such a cool thing that you're wearing," and it's like, "Oh, I made it."
Yeah, it feels fucking amazing.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool, and that's I've had similar things like that happen before. Like one of them was I had a sheets worker. When I was wearing the Goose Tee prototype, he was like, "Oh my God, I fucking love that shirt." And he just started going off about like how all the things he loved about it and the colors and talking to me about it. And I was like just sitting there like, holy shit, like this is one of the first times I'm wearing this out, and somebody just going out of their way that I don't know to talk about how much they love the shirt. And it's just cool because that doesn't happen all the time.
No.
And I was at a restaurant one time in Easton, and there was like this gay couple, and they were talking, and you could like tell they were talking and then kind of like pointing at me and then like talking, and like I could see that they were talking about me, and I was like, huh. And I was wearing the Scheuneman joggers that are out right now. And I kind of like looked at them a little bit, and then they looked at me and like, "I'm so sorry. We were just talking about how much we loved your pants. Like those are so cool. Like where can I get those?" And like they were just like really into it, and I was like, "Holy shit! Like people are really liking our clothes, and it's getting noticed in public." And like I don't know these people, and it's like this doesn't happen often. And I wear crazy stuff. I wear stuff that I love from other brands before, and I mean, it happens, but it's like a few times a year kind of thing. Like it just varies. And so the fact that I've gotten so many just random comments from people that don't know it's mine, they must not know the brand because we're still like coming up, and it's wild. So I think that's a better note to end on. Yeah, fucking Scheuneman's coming up. And
yeah, for sure.
collections are coming soon. Very, very, very excited. Some updates have came down the line, and I'm excited to be able to tell you guys about it. But big things, big teams. Marquise, do you have anything to say before we call it a day?
Count Scheuneman, of course.
Yes. Yeah, it's Cop Scheuneman. Go check out
At least check it out.
ScheunemanBrand.com.
You won't be disappointed. Well, you shouldn't be disappointed.
No, you won't be. It's high
won't.
high quality materials,
Everybody
designs
thinks differently, but
that we love, and it's all kinds of different stuff is up there right now. Cop from the first collection. You're gonna want it. It'll be worth a lot later on, and it's worth a lot now. It's Italian made, high quality shit. So
yeah.
check that out.
Premium.
Go listen to any of the other podcasts. Listen to the music videos. Subscribe, like, comment, put on that notification
We're almost
bell.
at 100.
Please comment. I heard somewhere that the algorithm likes it when there's arguments in the comments.
And we like the arguments too, because we'll argue with you.
Yeah, we'll argue with you. So throw some feedback down in the comments or just say hi. I've been wondering who watches, so I would love a roll call.
Another thing would be cool if people put segments or things we should talk about in the comments, and then we can write them down, jot them down, do a little research, and yeah.
If you guys have any ideas or stuff that you want to see us do, then throw them down in the comments. I'll see them.
The one chip challenge.
We're still at that was fun. My butthole still hurts, but
dude, my dad gave me homemade hot sauce, and it's pretty. I want you to try it. It's.
Oh,
like,
by the way,
you
dude,
know me.
That would be cool. We should try it. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're good.
But you know what I saw today? This podcast I listened to was Sal Volcano and Chris DiStefano. It's called Hey Babe Podcast. Shout out. Go watch that, but watch ours first.
Yeah.
You know what they just did?
What?
Fucking hot sauce thing. It was like a hot sauce challenge. They put hot sauce on a chip and ate it. I was like, bro, what the fuck? Like, obviously they're not fucking jacking our steez, but it's like, okay, we're thinking on the right path. Like we're doing what the big boys are doing. So
yes, sir.
It's just fun. It was funny to see. I saw that this morning. Throw something down in the comments. Either tell us who you are, who's watching these. Tell us what you'd like to see us do, or give us feedback. And chances are we'll either shout you out or do your idea with a shout out. Or any guests that you'd like to see come on. Barack Obama, Joe Rogan, Hillary Clinton. Maybe we could have like a celebrity boxing match of Hillary Clinton versus like Kim Kardashian or something. Well, I mean, Trump might. That would be hard to watch.
Yo, real question though. I mean, obviously. Why? I mean, like, in boxing, I mean, I know why, but, like, why can't we do, like, a man versus a girl? Like, if a girl is, like, the same weight and everything as the dude, you know, like, muscle mass, all that stuff like that.
Well, the thing is, it's almost impossible to have a man that's a professional fighter and a woman professional fighter to like match up physically to where it would be fair.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a little bit of a sensitive.
What if you get a big bulky ass woman and then a little ass dude?
It still like comes down to like the chemistry of their bodies. Like they're just I'm not that like there's women that would beat the fuck out of us, but.
I don't know. I probably shouldn't have asked that. But.
No, it's a reasonable question. But like, it just comes down to the fact that like, typically, the muscle mass of a man that's training would top the muscle mass of a woman that's training. Not because of how hard they're training or because they're not talented or anything like that. It's just because of like physical limitations, because of like how our bodies are built and how they're different. But I mean, at the same time, I kind of like, I think if a woman wants to fight a man or a man wants to fight a woman and they like agree on that and they know that that's the deal, why shouldn't we be able to watch that? I mean, if they both want to, that's entertainment. Because I'm sure you're going to get instances where the woman comes out on top.
Yeah.
And that's like got to be empowering. So I mean, I think if they wanted to do that, I don't see why they can't. But I think it's just about being fair.
I don't know, but
yeah,
we gotta end it.
That was a little mini debate.
Yeah.
But do that comment thing, please. please. This is the end. We're gonna do this on the beginning of the next episode, but like seriously, like I would love to see you guys comment any of the things we just said. So I don't have to repeat them again, but yeah, comment. I would love that. And like the video.
Subscribe.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Check out Scheuneman. As always, love you.
Love you and ciao. But also, lastly, I'm not quite sure. We're going to Florida next week. I'm gonna try and have a podcast episode that comes out, but we'll be gone on Sunday, or next Sunday we'll be gone. So
was Thursday. Next Sunday for the show.
We will be gone when an episode should be dropping. I'm going to try my best to put out an episode that'll come out that week, but there is a small chance that there's a break. So you might not see an episode next week, but
there'll be many more.
Oh yeah, and the episode after Florida is going to be a banger. We're gonna have a lot to talk about, and it's gonna be a fun one. Trust me, because we're gonna tell you all about what happens on the trip, what we do, what we get into, who poops on who. It's gonna be a fun time. So yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. It'll probably be an episode will probably drop, but there's a chance that it won't because we'll be gone, and we won't have as much time to prepare. And Marquis here works, I work, and. But yeah, I just wanted to give a heads up just in case that does happen. Love you. Ciao. Great time.
Me.